Hi everyone, it's Cindy. Welcome back to Studioloo. So I'm here today with a flip through of my latest journal that I finished. This is Artists Like Us, and this journal is kind of an artist's journal that's like focused around the making the life and the appreciation of junk journals. So it's a really fun book with a book on the front, and I made this inside of a Kennedy Library vintage book. It's really nice. It's this brown sort of patent leather, and it has gold embossing on front and back, and I've made this little Artists Like Us label for the spine, and it is I made this label myself, the image, and then I inked it up, and I did some splattering of a tealy green paint, which is a theme that goes throughout this book, and then I covered it with glossy accents so it would give it a little bit of a shine, and it would just look nice sitting up on a shelf. So the concept for this book was inspired by a bunch of things. Like, I've had this idea in mind for a while because, you know, I do spend a good amount of time making journals, and I felt like it would be nice to express that in some way. So I saw, like, I have this little book from 1837. It's a beautiful little book, and I sort of felt like I knew one day I would want to put it on the cover of a larger book, and then that idea came together, and I finally got to work on it. And then when I saw the digital kit from Barbara at 49 Dragonflies, her On My Desk kit, it actually features a lot of things that we use in junk journaling, and it has beautiful watercolor illustrations that were done by a friend of hers, and it perfectly fit my concept here. So how does this whole situation work? So this book, it is eyeleted on this book as well as this book. So this single, these seam binding, they hold both books closed. So on the little book, let's start with it first, okay? So you just pull that right out if you want to work in this little book. So what did I do with this little book? So I gilded it. I covered it with nice gilding wax. This is a UHF knob. It goes up and down and side to side. It's got these little slits in it. It's from an old television, and it has the numbers here. It says UHF, and then the numbers 2 through 13. It turns, and then you open it on up, and I've used some beautiful locally made marbled paper for the end papers here. And then this is a little this says Journal on My Desk, and this is like a little 49 Dragonflies snippet, so from her kit. So then I made this little tag out of a vintage ledger. So this is like a miniature junk journal on the front of a junk journal. This book is from 1873. I believe it is a German book. And it's really pretty, and I tried to just put in it things that were kind of, in both of these, that were just, they really said, here is a supply that I use to do junk journaling. So coffee dyed paper. A little pocket here. I did keep several of the original book pages because they're amazing. This little journal card with this little eye. And I made this little belly band with a butterfly, and inside is this little journal card with this little house on it. That just tucks on in here. There we go. Then some brown paper, and then here I took that same marbled paper that I've got on the front, and I made this little clip-on booklet with some botanicals on the front. And then in here we have a little pocket with this journal card inside. A little Canada stamp there. It's on an original book page. And that just goes over top here. And paper clips on. Then, of course, we have some Edith Holden because, you know, I can't think of an illustrator that we see more frequently in the junk journal world. And two little marble paper pockets. This has an 1815 illustration from an old book, and this has a Frida Kahlo playing card, another thing we use in junk journaling. Another little pocket with a little mini letter. This is from the kit from 49 Dragonflies. This is a little flower tuck. It wraps around, and on both sides we have something. This is a avocado dyed Rolodex card, and over here is a little checklist that came from a box from Your Creative Studio. More coffee dyed paper, a little illustrated dog tuck spot on the original paper, and this is a little piece of ledger with a botanical rub-on seal, little journal card. And then paper clipped over here, we have this little tag that I made from a vintage yearbook, and it says, "I'd like to announce I have no idea what I'm doing." And that's from a Tim Holtz snarky word kit, I think. And then more of the original book, a really lovely old illustration. This is some of the fly paper actually from the larger book. The larger book was called The Magic Mountain. Then some tickets here on a map. So a couple of elements we use in junk journaling with this little tag here. And then these little people. This is from the Tim Holtz paper dolls. And then this is like a stamp journal card. That's from Your Creative Studio. This is a little photograph from Release the Crafton that I made into a pocket, and then this little Merrick's thread advertisement with vintage ledger on the back, little journal card, coffee dyed paper, a little frog pocket with this little moon with cabbage dye paper on back tag, a belly band with this little bit of stationery, more of the map and the fly paper. This is a little cutout from a greeting card with this little village, and a journal card with some lily of the valley, which I saw yesterday while I was out walking. This is one of my little creatures from my Etsy shop. This is some doily dyed paper. This is a couple of old school photographs, and this is a beautiful, like seriously one of the most beautiful vintage Valentines that I've ever seen. It is really precious. So that's original. And then we have an original photograph here, these horses, and inside is a little journal card. This pearl-laden queen-like lady. Another fly page. This is just some beautiful text from an old Popular Educator magazine. Just one of the original old pages from the book. This is a little botanical tuck spot with a little bee tag inside. That's from Shabby Dabby Doodah. This is a piece of ephemera that I got in Happy Mail from Shell's Creative Chaos, and this is a really cute little, like, I believe like a silver, you know, for 50 pieces of silverware, including the chest. It's a little like old price card that would have come with that. And then just some fun paper, a little tattered, and then just a little bit of collaging here. And then we have this little pocket here, and inside of it is this: give him 365 perfect shaves a year. It's an old Wilkinson razor ad, and I just added it onto this black paper to make a little booklet. And then some more collaging here. A little doll pocket, and this little, this is from the, I want to say this is maybe from the, I don't know if that's from Tim Holtz, I think. I don't think it's from the kit. And then this is a little photograph here, and this little moth tuck spot. More of the Popular Educator and the fly page. A little fish pocket, and this has dandelion seeds, and it says, "As soon as daylight began to appear." And I wanted to include a little word snippet because I feel like those are so integral to junk journals. And then we have this little cigarette cards pocket with these little people inside, just two little guys holding hands, and they have the same sweater. more of the doily paper, lined paper, and then we reach the end of the book. So I'll talk about how and what I did with the book. So it was initially glued on, and then I added 4 brads that actually connected directly on here. So it's not going anywhere. It's going to be here forever. Now, as I mentioned, I did green spatter as a theme throughout the larger book. So I did some on both of the books as well, because I really thought that would be fun. So I'll go ahead and I'll just show you how you would close this. You take the 2 ends here of your seam binding and just pop them through here. And then you'll have everything all tied together again. Just plunk that through there too. There we go. And then just sort of pull them taut. See? So then when you want to go into the bigger book, the nice thing is that that book under here braces this. So it's like kind of like having a book stand. So I used some of the most beautiful marble paper that I own. It was locally made and I got it at a local paper show. It's gorgeous. And it's got a nice thick texture to it, so it really covers the back sides of those brads. You don't feel them, and they're not going to press through. So I wanted to open this book with sort of a okay, this is what junk journaling is kind of page. So I used one of the pages from the kit from 49 Dragonflies, and I have a little stapled on fabric tab, a pocket with an authentic 1940s photograph from a local estate auction, and a ticket up here. And then inside we have this journal card. So it's got some fabric stitched up here, and it's just got different snippets of old advertisements from like an 1800s newspaper, and I've spattered it with the green turquoise paint. A little postage sticker down here. This is from the 49 Dragonflies kit. More spattering, and this is packaging paper. Lace pocket, and I did use parts of a Stamperia Atelier des Artistes kit, and it is really pretty, so it's in here too. Then this is one of my originals from my vintage ledger watercolor swatch kit, which you can find on Etsy. This is the original. And some more spattering across these pages. A little pocket here with a vintage label. And then this is a tag from the 49 Dragonflies kit. And this is a page from the Popular Educator. Over here we have a pocket made from the 49 Dragonflies kit, and inside I had to include a really beautiful, authentic vintage greeting card, and these are the paper ones that open up, so lots of journaling space. This one is made in Canada, and it's got some nice embossing. This is some 1800s ledger paper, authentic from my big ledger book. Some spattering of paint. And then this is a really fun journal card of this old cash register, and this came from an old book. And then we have this little pocket here that says art is the essence of beauty. And then up here we have an upper tuck pocket. This is a vintage button card, and we have some lace and a little label, and it's on the Popular Educator paper, and some spattering that goes onto the journal card as well. This is made from an old yearbook, this journal card. A collage pocket here, with fabric and stitching, and a little Thistle botanical journal card that goes in here. A little label on some of my watercolor paper. This one has such beautiful, this is painted with beam paints, which are incredible watercolors. They're like iridescent and pretty. And then we have a lace pocket on packaging paper, and this is a really fun, like children's, like, you know, learning how to read kind of word card. So it's a nice piece of older ephemera. More spattering on these 2 pages. These are both from the 49 Dragonflies kit. So you see the inkwell, you see a butterfly, illustrations, and a glass pen. And here's our ink pad and our ink dauber. And this is a large journal card from the Stamperia paper kit on my hand-dyed log paper. This says art is not just a painting. And then over here we have a little pocket from the kit on a children's illustration page from a book, an old book. This kind of book page, it's a huge part of my journaling, a huge part of my junk journal making. And then this is an old beautiful vintage Valentine. And then birds, of course, a huge part of junk journaling. So I added this is from an Audubon book. This is some of my hand-dyed avocado dyed parchment. This is a beautiful old page from the Popular Educator, and we've got this pocket up here, and then a couple of my handmade tickets. And then we have this pocket here. You see some paintbrushes and a palette hanging there. And then we have this little snippet from the 49 Dragonflies kit with like the little paints and sprays that we use. And then this is a vintage postcard from Rouen. Over here, this little tiny stitched on doily with some fun embroidery. I got these recently. They're from Budapest, and these are two more of my handmade tickets. And this is some beautiful 49 and Market paper. And then I, using materials, right, from like our day-to-day lives, things that would otherwise go in the rubbish bin, I've stitched on this half of a plastic bag as a double pocket. And then I put an eyelet here and added this little tag that has ledger on the back, and it says, "Breathe the art of nature." And it has a butterfly. And then this tag is a collage tag that I made. And the fun thing is, in Barbara's kit, she has some ginkgo leaves, and I have a ginkgo leaf on this tag. It's backed with my hand-dyed paper. And then in here, so we have a little snippet down here of old book spine and some of those crane scissors, and we've got a little stapled on eco-printed fabric tab. And then this is from an old yearbook, and then an avocado dyed index card. Some beautiful butterflies from 49 and Market. And then two pockets here. So this one, let me start at the bottom, I guess. This one says "Beautiful Once More." These are both made from the Stamperia art paper. And then this has some washi tapes from Barbara's kit. And then in here we have a few things. So number one, this old Juno Dolls journal card. And then a little tag from the 49 Dragonflies kit with a butterfly. And then this is just a funny little like vintage magazine cutout that I added a little barcode to, and it says "Marry someone who can cook. Looks fade, hunger doesn't." And that is from a Tim Holtz word kit. And then up here we have this pocket that has a little wax seal press and a little tea bag, and it says "Leaves to make tea." And then we have a cute little pretty kitty vintage playing card. This little music journal card, little stationery piece. And then this little, I believe this is from the 49 Dragonflies kit, this little invoice. And then over here we have this little blue paint tube pocket on a Popular Educator page. And I felt like this was just a really cute kind of appropriate for junk journaling kind of picture. So it's this girl, she's got vintage books on a bookshelf behind her, a pencil in her hand, her glasses in her hand. She's kind of in these sparkly, fabulous jammies and looking at a bunch of magazines and newspapers. So I feel like that glamorous look could be any one of us. And then some more avocado dyed parchment, another beautiful bird from Audubon, another lovely children's book page of this, I believe is Thumbelina flying on this bird's back, some of my hand-dyed log paper with a little snippet from the 49 Dragonflies kit, another 49 Dragonflies spread. So this pocket here, I added a sewing machine, scissors, some buttons and things. So these were stickers from your creative studio. And here we see washi tapes and beads all on the desk. And then this is another piece of original from my my Antique Ledger watercolor swatches kit, and these are iridescent and sparkly, and they all have like a goldy tone to the back of them. And then over here we have a little pocket that has some cork, and the actual original like topper to the book spine is stitched on there. And here we have the ginkgo leaf and a bead and some lace and paper. And this is a piece of vintage stationery that's just tucked in. We have a little bit of green spatter here from my spattering. As I said, it goes throughout the book. By the way, this book has a hidden hollow back spine. And then more spattering here. A little tab with fabric and paper. Some Edith Holden, so we have the month of June, which is coming up, and a little gold bulldog clip from the kit from 49 Dragonflies. This belly band is from the kit as well, and I stitched on some old book spine and lace. And inside here, this is actually authentic from an old autograph book from 1935 to Eileen Devereaux from Mother and Dad on Christmas Day in the year 1935. So I was trying to use up some of my vintage ephemera. It's always hard to do. This is a spitter spattering of some rub-ons, leaves, and a little wreath. And then we have some really pretty butterfly paper here. And I've stitched on this doily as just kind of a nice soft little handhold. I feel like you could just sort of sit and enjoy this a little bit. It just feels so soft. It's a beautiful old cotton doily, hand embroidered, and more of those leaves, and a little snippet down here that says live with love and you will create art. Then we have a pocket with one of my Antique Ledger watercolor swatches. This is from May of 1862, this paper. And then Edith Holden back here. And then this is a little, I found these little music index cards. And it's March of the Cameron Men. And it's copyright 1952, New York. I like the little red numbers. And then this flips out and we have this glass ballpoint pen from 49 Dragonflies. And then we have some dragonflies, ironically. That was not planned. And then some more Edith Holden. And over here we have this little tab that's been cut, and it's like in two, so both sides of the page are decorated. This says art has a lot to show. And you'll see some sewing paper. That's what I've got on the edge of these craft pages. These are actually made by Nancy at Wishes and Weeds and gifted to me because she is a very kind person. And then this is another page from 49 Dragonflies, and it's got some, of our inks there and our little crane scissors and the little ginkgo leaf on the pocket, also from her kit. This is scrapbook paper from, I forget, I'm going to say probably 49 in Market. Then this is just an old Bell telephone envelope from Bell Canada, and it's probably from the 70s. It doesn't have acetate in the windows, they're just open windows, and so I thought that would be a fun place to journal, or you could stuff something in there. And it says we all have an artist within us. And then this pocket has one of the Stamperia journal cards. And this is some vintage ledger, and I added a little 49 Dragonflies ink bottle fussy cut down there. More of the vintage ledger, and this one's from a daily attendance book at a school. And then we have this belly band here that also has a label with washi tape on it from 49 Dragonflies. It's on a page from the old Popular Educator paper. And then inside we have from Whitby, Ontario, August 30th of 1911, maybe? It looks like a backwards 6, I'm not sure. But it is a Standard Bank of Canada receipt for $73.85. And that just tucks up here some more original ephemera. And this is from Popular Educator as well, and I just love the ink, the nibs there, and this little kind of like, they look kind of like books, but they're it's like a what is the word for that, the 16 Superior Pencils, Graphite Pencil Co. They all have words on them like journal and Semitic, Arctic, journalistic, oceanic, imperial, so it's kind of cool. And then a little sticker with some postage. And then this is an authentic 1940s vintage photo of some barns here. And then in here we have a little field guide, tree field guide page, and then a little swatches, all golden kind of swatches on the antique ledger. 1920, that ledger. So those just tuck in there. And then this is a center spread from 49 Dragonflies with our inks and things, and this little clasp for holding your paper, those bronze clips, some doily and an envelope, a memorandum, inkwell and a feather pen. These are the backgrounds from her kit, some spattering and another little snippet from her kit. This is sort of a double pocket, so we have this pocket on Popular Educator paper. This is from 49 Dragonflies. This is from Stamperia. It says objects with stories to tell became art. And then this little tag here is from 49 Dragonflies. This is one of my audience cards, as I call them. It's made on handmade paper, and it has these two lovely, these are probably old film stars, and I feel like vintage photography and that kind of thing is such a big part of junk journaling. And then we have more Edison and other book-related at Dixon, kind of like art supplies. Oh, I meant to, while I'm here, just give me uno momento. I had this little, you know, this is some delicate kind of paper, and I had this little bit here. So let's just be a junk journaler, and we'll just cover that little peeled bit right there. Boop. Don't be afraid to fix your things, right? Okay, so then we have a little ink bottle here on Vintage Ledger. And more lovely Attendance Vintage Ledger. This is a pocket here, and then inside, this is another fun thing that we find for journal making. So this is actually like a fly fishing book where you would record the fish that you caught and like what was going on that day, the flies and spinners used, wind and weather, the weight, the weight of the largest fish, the number of fish, what river, the day, and any remarks that you have. Over here is a really cute little pocket with this yellow cadmium paint tube. And this is an envelope. I found a whole pack of these, and I feel like this is kind of intrinsic to like the stuff that we collect for journals, right? So this is for the Beatles, Yellow Submarine. So here's the Blue Meanie's hand, and we have a Blue Meanie back here, and these were from 1988. Yeah, so I really like that, and I feel like it's nice in this journal. This is some lace paper from Inked Paper Arts on Etsy. A little snippet from the 49 Dragonflies kit, and it is like a little ink dauber, and then we have more Vintage Ledger. It has the date across the top, and then we have a little double pocket here. And then this paper is alcohol ink scrapbook paper, and then this pocket is from the 49 Dragonflies kit, and that pocket's from Stamperia. This is a tag from 49 Dragonflies. It just tucks in the little pocket, and this is a little fold out of writing space scrapbook paper kind of little tag, and that just goes in here. And then we have a page from the 49 Dragonflies kit. And we have the one white page that I left. I did that on purpose. And then here we have a little banner with dragonfly inks on it. That's from the 49 Dragonflies kit. And then a belly band with some bricks and stuff. And back here, this is like images from old calendars and sewing paper. And that's the back of that scrapbook paper. It's a really pretty page. And this is kind of a blurry, older photograph. But like this woman has two minks around her neck. Like there's a mink head there and there. It's an authentic old photograph. It's just a little blurry. You know, the quality of old photos it varies. But I liked it. I felt like it goes in here. Sketch your life and put color on it. And then we have a gold doily at the center. And this is a little tip out made from Vintage Ledger, and we have a little bead there from the 49 Dragonflies kit. This little pocket down here, a little pocket up here. In this pocket we have an authentic old photograph of this woman and her child in this old car. And that just tucks in here. And then this beautiful piece of botanical paper just goes right in here. And another page from the 49 Dragonflies kit. This is Make Your Life a True Work of Art. And a couple pockets here, both with the paint tubes. This one has an old tintype Pennebaker cabinet card from Kitchener, Ontario, of these two lovely ladies. And there's a little bit of spatter, like the green spatter. We have a little pen here from 49 Dragonflies. And another tag from that same kit on the alcohol ink paper. More of the lace, purple lace paper. And then over here we have a pocket. It says a daring bit of exploration. We have some book page there. And a lovely little ink bottle on this 49 Dragonflies paper. And then I've got a couple pages of contract score pad from a bridge kit. And that's what's in here for more writing space. And this is some of my dyed log paper and a little stitched cluster. That's from 49 Dragonflies. This little pocket here that I stitched some vintage embroidery. And this is on one of my watercolor swatch originals on Vintage Ledger. And this is a really cute little card that I found from the Kindness Club of Fredericton, New Brunswick, Canada. It's vintage, and I just love this illustration. And it says, "And I am my brother's keeper, and I will fight his fight, and speak the word for beast and bird, till the world shall set things right." Then we have Ledger over here from 1934. Some little stickers of sewing bits and bobs on some vintage writing paper, green splatter. This is more Vintage Ledger. This is from a legal ledger from 1870, and this is a little ink pad. It's from the 49 Dragonflies kit. This flips. It was like that in the old ledger book, so I kept it just as it was. Beautiful writing on this ledger. And this is a page from the Stamperia kit, paper kit. This little pocket here is from 49 Dragonflies. And then in here we have a couple things. So two beautiful blues. These are paint swatches from Pratt & Lambert, so you can write on those. And then this is one of my little Vintage Ledger 1857 watercolor swatches. It's got some really pretty gouache watercolor. And this is coffee dyed paper with a little clip there from 49 Dragonflies. I've done some green spattering here. This little suitcase, and the paper's from Stamperia. And then we have this fun math card, flashcard. That's a Stamperia page. And then we have some 1864 ledger. This side we have a belly band and a banner, both from 49 Dragonflies. I added some lace, stitched it, and did some spattering across the pages. These ginkgo leaves are from 49 Dragonflies. This is coffee dyed index card. 1934 ledger page. That is my watercolor swatch original. And then I've made this pocket here kind of with my dyed log paper and some Stamperia. I added a bulldog clip from 49 Dragonflies, And then I feel like these are another element that I use quite often in junk journaling, which is old needlework patterns. So this one is a rose. And more dyed log paper. If there is feeling, there is art. More 49 Dragonflies kit paper. And I've stitched on some paper and vintage embroidery as a tab with a little ticket there. Then we have this airmail envelope. I've stitched on some cork to the top just for some interesting color and texture. And then these are two little snippets from the 49 Dragonflies kit. This is an inventory tag that I got in Happy Mail. A little bead from 49 Dragonflies on this craft steno paper. Some splatter here too. This is a pocket that I made from the 49 Dragonflies kit. I added this little image from a Victorian greeting card of the hands holding onto the lily of valley, and it says every tree has flowers of some kind. And this is a tag, just a blank tag on some fun paper, and then some alcohol ink paper. Living with art is the key to happiness. Share inspiration and you will be an artist. And this is a little collaged pocket. And this is a spattered and dyed index card on coffee dyed large format dictionary paper. And then over here we have a postcard, a vintage postcard that's been written on. This is authentic with some Canada stamps there. And then, you know, what junk journal would I make that wouldn't have something of my own art in it? So these are some of my little leaflings, and I wanted to include them because the green goes really nicely with the stamps and the spatter. Little label there. Alcohol ink paper and some fun lined paper. This is a beautiful piece of scrapbook paper. And this little postcard cutout on the steno paper. And more splatter. The other side of this envelope, I've added all these elements that are all from the 49 Dragonflies kit, and I love how the spatter looks on the cork. And inside we have a little Peak-Freen cherry cheesecake no-bake recipe from the effects of this gentleman that I bought. And then this is the alcohol ink paper scrap. I just kept it because I thought it would be a fun little tag to add in there too. Little stamp on that side of the envelope and more spatter. This is a spread from the 49 Dragonflies kit. So the paper back here, as well as this element, these elements are from the kit. This says take your time, and I cut that out of a book with some washi tape there. And then inside, a vintage playing card. And this is a little Zurich Mennonite Church offerings envelope. So that's an authentic piece of ephemera. Another page from the kit, as well as this pocket and this little circle are both from the kit. And I tied on a brad here some green embroidery floss. And inside we have this little sort of ledger table paper that is for November. And so that's some fun writing space, just some ephemera. Some really beautiful coffee dyed paper. Ink paper, and then this is an altered paper clip that has some crochet doily attached to it. It's a rusted paper clip. This is a journal card from the Stamperia Atelier kit. This is from 49 Dragonflies. It's a little ink bottle. And then some cabbage dyed paper. It was really cute because I sort of overlaid them and they mark each other. This is from the 49 Dragonflies kit, the belly band, and then I made this kind of inked up. This was a paper coaster, and I added some other ephemera to it, stitched some things, and added this little snippet is from It Capilli Imaginarium on Etsy. And this is a lovely Atherley, Ontario vintage postcard. It's been written on the back. It's from 1939. And this is an old French book page more spattering and some fun paint movement, and a little glass pen there. That these beads and the glass pen are from 49 Dragonflies. This is the captured shadow. It was from a book page, so I made a book page pocket, and then it's a double pocket because out the side here you can pull this little dog with this little flower from 49 Dragonflies. So that's an authentic vintage photograph. That tucks in there, and then up here we have one of these. They're like postal kind of things. This one's from the Ottawa Women's Canadian Club. Little postal front from 1937, and then a little ink dauber, or inkwell rather, from 49 Dragonflies. This is from the Stamperia kit. A little pocket that's been collaged with some lace and some elements from the kit, and then inside we have a little Pinedale Motel from Grand Bend, Ontario. This is an old business card, and then a little $20 ticket. I think that was from like sort of a handmade Monopoly kit that I got, and then some large format encyclopedia that was or dictionary that was coffee dyed, and an index card as a pocket. This is Make Art and You Will Have Wings to Fly. This is an old Italian 1892 postcard of this lady sewing. And then in here, this says Art is the Essence of Beauty. This is a coffee dyed page. This is a 1904 invoice from Mr. George W. Stinson. He was buying some tobacco products, so it's an authentic piece of ephemera. A little bulldog clip here from 49 Dragonflies. Then we have a couple of Stamperia frames that I used as tuck spots. This says, breathe the art around you, and art is not just a painting. Then we have a little handwritten snippet here of this. I have a whole collection of paperwork from this man who used to basically write down all of the tiny domestic things in his life, so I like to include little bits of him here and there. Little journal cards of different ephemeras. This little pocket, we have an ink pad from 49 Dragonflies, Stamperia paper, and on this tag I kept it very simple, but I added this whole collection of beautiful botanical stamps from Repubblica di San Marino. Yeah, they're really pretty. And then this beautiful paper from Stamperia. This is a little glued down tag with some spatter and this express stamp. A little tuck spot made from my watercolor swatches and the 49 Dragonflies snippet there. And I included a little fairy postcard here. These are the rush grass and cotton grass fairies from the Flower Fairies of the Wayside, 1948, later published in 1985. And that is on the French book paper. Then we have this pocket here that has this giant United States of America $10 bill and this purple dyed index card. So just a couple of fun places to add some writing. Cabbage dyed paper, spatter. This is a coupon from the Mutual Life of Canada in Waterloo, Ontario, and it's about the birthplace of Robert Burns, who's an illustrator. So this is like a bookmark, and it's old, and it came out of the old book that I'm using for another journal, and it has this alcohol ink paper. This is some fun coffee dyed paper. This is a large coffee dyed lace pocket that I dyed, and it has inside it this music card. And the last page is from 49 Dragonflies, and then at back is more of the beautiful marble paper that's locally made, and I made this little stamp here as I always do, and I just have to sign it, and then this journal will be ready to fly on to its new home. But this is one of my little Sweet Pea dolls. I wanted to again add a little part of myself in here and a couple of feathers in the wax. So that is the end of this journal, and I really hope you enjoyed seeing it. I really enjoyed making it. It is spoken for, but I will be back with more journals, and I hope you're having a beautiful day. Bye for now.